check. Yo, hello. It's be about a 30-second delay, probably. Not anymore. It's about 30 seconds for you to hear me talking, though. It's a big delay. At least that's the theory. We will see. God only knows. Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay.
No sound at all.
Talk, 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 talk.
We're trying to figure out how to... We're not getting any sound out, but you should be okay. You know, it'd be so much easier if everything was digital. If you could just go USB and that's fine.
Yeah.
now we're just trying the secondary auxiliary output. Hopefully, channel 4, channel 4, channel 4.
Can I have this for 1 quick second? Let's see something. Are we sure we're in the right input over there? Yeah. It says key motion input. So. Okay. Just some questions. No, I know. Whoa.
I think I got it.
That's it. Okay. Yeah. Here, loud now. Super loud. Let's turn it down.
Oh, it's up to you. We can turn it down here. I cranked all my microphone inputs to about 80, so.
Thank you so much.
Trying things until it works.
The old tried and true method.
Like the 100th for me.
All right, we will be able to sound check in 1 second as soon as I figure out. That's what it must have been. We were just really quiet and then we.
It's a creepy soundboard.
All right, if the two of you could do me a favor and give me a quick mic check.
We're checking the mic as the Swedish national team strolls by with garbage bags full of potential shopping trinkets that they've purchased at the malls that they seem to like to frequent.
Test 1, 2. I can barely hear myself, but I can hear myself. So that's progress. I can hear both of you very well. So that's nice.
Is that better?
Okay, yeah, I can hear.
All right, 30 seconds, I will let you guys both know how you sound, and we should be all good.
I can only hear myself in one ear.
Oh, it might be the headphones.
Yeah, I don't care.
I can switch with you if you want.
I don't care at all. In Boston, I only get one ear.
Okay. So I stopped drinking coffee before games because I think faster than I talk and end up stumbling over my words. And I'm so tired right now.
I always drink coffee before
I know.
games. It gets you hyped. First time I've ever had Tim Hortons.
Yeah? Better than Dunkies?
I think it's better, yeah, I like it.
Oh, we shouldn't say that on the podcast.
Ooh, oops.
Sorry. Never better.
I like Dunkin's iced coffee a lot.
You know, I have to, if we're talking about true quality, Dunkin's breakfast sandwiches are far superior to Tim Hortons.
I've never had one of the Tim Hortons, but I get Dunkin' breakfast sandwiches a lot, so I like them. Dunkin' food is also better than Starbucks food.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. This has been Food Takes with Jeff, Eric, and Marissa.
Yeah, we should be okay.
Okay,
We're a little loud.
Better.
It's so hard to sound check in real time.
Yeah, if we're super loud, they'll tell us and we can turn it down.
Everything sounds pretty quiet-ish to me, so I think it's fine.
We can probably turn the headphones up a little.
Like, I can hear you fine.
This is the headphone channel, right? Or no?
No.
Oh,
it's fine. It's just on the lower end.
Erica says the mics are hot.
Yeah, they're super hot. I'm working on it.
Okay.
We know.
We turned the outputs up to about maximum level, so hopefully we'll be able to negate that a little bit. And by help, I mean we will, but hopefully in a timely manner. Thank you all for sticking with us through our typical and numerous technical. We have new technology today, if you can't tell.
Everything's getting an upgrade here at Harbor Center.
Everything is quite a scene here today.
Still real.
Yeah, it's about a 30-second delay to every change I make is gonna get.
Yeah.
Check. Those are the microphones. That's worse. I'm gonna plug back into the stream for a second, see how it sounds.
So as we close in on 3.5 minutes before the teams begin to take the ice, it's been a huge couple of weeks here in Buffalo with the World Junior Championships finishing up last night. Of course, the Women's Junior Championships are taking place over in Europe right now, and a lot of surprises is happening over there, so it's kind of nice to see those European teams step into their own and really give Team USA and Canada a hard time. But on top of that, we had the announcement that Terry and Kim Pagula Sports Entertainment, have purchased the Buffalo Buttes. Marissa and I had a chance to talk about that on the Founding Four podcast with Mike Murphy and Erica Ayala, and it's honestly something that I still can't get over, Marissa.
Yeah, it's pretty huge. Before it happened, I kept hearing bigger than the Devils deal, and I was like, what could be bigger than that? And then I understood as soon as I saw it. I was like, well, that is much bigger than the Devils deal, so it's great. I hope that creates a lot of energy here in Buffalo about debuts. The Pagula, they've done a great job with the lacrosse team, the Buffalo Bandits. They do excellent attendance-wise and attention-wise, so hopefully that carries over to another one of the non-major four sports with debuts.
Yeah, and now we've seen One Buffalo, the marketing arm of the Pagula Sports Entertainment, has tweeted out several times about this game today, so we'll hopefully start seeing the impact of those kinds of promotions here soon. Now, for the most part this season, they had shunted the fans to the far side of the ice, the camera side of the ice, and now they're kind of letting people fill in where they will, and so the building is probably about where it's been for the last few games, but it's just a little bit more dispersed, so we'll have to concentrate the sound for the folks.
Yeah. It's also like negative 18 degrees outside right now, so some of you may be choosing to join us on the stream, in which case we are happy to have you along for the ride. There's a young fan in the front row with a Buffalo hat on, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's probably keeping them very, very warm.
It's interesting.
And then we also had the announcement of the roster for Team WNHL that's going to take on the American women's hockey team in preparation for Pyeongchang. So, I mean, they were obviously excited. I got to speak a little bit with Corrine Bowie and Jess Jones about the opportunity, and both of them said, it's kind of a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Both, almost national team caliber players, and we're lucky to have them here in Buffalo. But it's been, like we said, it's been an exciting couple of weeks, and things are about to ramp up as Buffalo takes the ice for the first time as a member of that One Buffalo family.
It's been a big week downtown. You see the sponsors, you see some flags hanging behind both goals. This building just played host to the World Junior Championships, as you were just mentioning, Eric, and there's a tangible excitement in the air. There's a huge new Jumbotron behind the Buffalo goal. We are so excited to be part of this whole One Buffalo movement and to see the growth of the sport of the Pagulas stepping up and helping out, not even helping out, just becoming a big part of this Buffalo Buttes family and welcoming another chapter of Buffalo professional athletes into the fold.
Yeah, so with so much happening off the ice, it's important to keep in mind that this is a big game for these two teams here, with Boston just 1 point out of Buffalo for second place in the league, and this is going to be the 8th game of the season, the halfway point, so they're looking to gain some momentum heading into that back end where they qualify for the playoffs, get those important home games, and all that good stuff.
First game of 2018 for both of these teams. Finished the 2017 year strong. Buffalo jumping up to second place in the great chase of the Metropolitan Riveters.
Ooh,
that was close. That was almost $1 in the jar.
50 cents.
Oh, yeah, I'll throw 50 cents on there as we get ready for starting lineup. So we're going to turn it over to Ryan Burgess on public address and be right back here with you guys following the national anthems. Just moments away, guys, from dropping the puck here Saturday afternoon NWHL action. Welcome to the most exciting Buffalo sports weekend since I knew what hockey was. The Buttes play this afternoon. The Bandits play across the street tonight. The Buffalo Bills are in the playoffs for the first time in 17 years. What a truly great weekend, and we're excited to be the first step on your One Buffalo journey here this weekend. Starting goals. Oh, sorry, Garrett, go ahead.
No, please.
Okay. Well, your starting goaltenders for this afternoon's contest for Buffalo, it is no surprise. It is Amanda Levier getting the nod again. Reliable. Sometimes plays herself a little bit out of position, but is going to rely on her defense here to kind of help her clean up those pucks in front of the net, something they've struggled with at times this season.
Yeah, I mean, she's faced the most shots of any other goaltender in the league, and she's made more saves than any other goaltender in the league. So, obviously, stalwart is something that we're used to hearing when it comes to Levier, but kind of a surprise at the other end of the ice.
Yeah, it's not Brittany Yott, it is Brianna Lang, who I think Buffalo fans haven't even seen come into start a game here in Buffalo in the 3 seasons Boston's been in the league.
No, Lang hasn't started a game yet, so interesting to see her in net today. She had a great career at Harvard. She's a good goaltender in her own right. I saw her play a lot in college, and she backstopped that team pretty well. So interesting to see what she'll do today here in her first NWHL game here in Buffalo.
Jeff Boyd, Eric Wolschlager, Marissa Ingenni on the broadcast here with you this afternoon from Harbor Center. We are just about ready to get underway. Buffalo in their home powder blue uniforms will be skating from left to right. Boston in their visiting black with white numbers and gold trim, skating from right to left. Right at the first play, it's across to McCursey, who just put that pass from Chesson just wide, near side on Brianna Lang. Taken away by Jones, fought forward towards the line, pinned in and kept in there one more time by Chesson. And finally the Pride recollect and fire it back out. Turned right back in, stopped in behind her goal there by Lang. Paige Harrington, her pass ahead. Scooped in, taken by Field, knocked ahead only as far as the blue line. Schwartz trying to fight it through and does to Dempsey. Dempsey in the slot, cuts inside and lifts a shot just high up over the net behind Levier. Jackie Greco back in the lineup today, back behind the goal to Murphy. Up ahead, Lewicki, full head of steam. Using her speed to create, drags it inside, trying to get around Gagliardi and just can't quite. Goes tumbling into the corner with some assistance. To a side, they fight down there. Lewicki turns it back down low. Schroka turning away from the play. Kicks it around back behind. Pass comes up high. Knocked down and juggled. Unable to be handled there at the blue line by Edney. Turn and fire back behind the play. Backhand chance on the side of the goal for Vint. Turns it on to Lang. Juggled it for a second. Comes loose back in the slot. Back all the way to Greco at the point for Buffalo. Lewicki back behind. Schroka turning with a good sustained pressure here for Buffalo here on their second shift. Greco playing catch there on the far side with Lewicki. Had it taken away. A good defensive play made over there by Kalia Johnson. Back 1-on-1, now 2-on-2 the other way for the Pride. Shot turned on, shouldered away. Tomaselli shot there by Levier. Tomaselli turning with it one more time up to there towards the blue line. Tries to leave that back pass there for Fracken. It was pressured, unable to keep it in there. Good play there by Maddie Elia for Buffalo, really forcing the play. Kunachika. Pass back there to Elia. Far side leaves it for Skamura, but she's turned away at the Boston blue line there by Lexi Bender. And the Pride able to recollect back out here on neutral ice. Turned and fired in there by Gedman. Slowed in by Levier. Tried to leave it for Casorso, ended up lifting it over her stick, forcing the defense to turn back here. Elia had it taken away. Taken back there away from Levine by Kunachika. Back to neutral ice. Bender turns it right back to field. It's pinballed right back in behind the Buffalo goal. Casorso over to Kunachika. Stretch pass tipped ahead by Elia into the Boston end. And she will go off and complete a change. Harrington. Back pass around, trying to find a friendly stick, and does. Dempsey back in behind her own goal. Up ahead to Field. Backhand pass ahead, trying to spring Schwartz. In behind the play, Murphy's the first player there. And it is an icing call with 17:09 remaining here in our opening period.
It's a good start to the game so far. We've seen Buffalo maintain possession in the zone, which is something they struggled with a little bit early on. And it's something that Marissa can speak to. Boston kind of gives away to teams throughout the season so far.
They do, and the big concern for Boston today, and you're already seeing it a little bit, is the lack of depth that they have. They're missing some really good players in their lineup, including Megan Mangine on defense, and she's played forward at times too, but this is a game that could have used her on defense especially, so with a shorthanded roster, wouldn't be surprised to see them struggle a little bit today.
Back in her own end now. Cheston's pass ahead is intercepted, taken here by Schwarz. Waits for her teammates to get onside and fires it in behind the Buffalo goal. Levier will leave it there. Murphy leaves it for Chesson. Pass across to Jones and the skates of Bowie. Pinballs back, and Jones able to go back and recollect it here. A little bit of miscommunication with Chesson. Not a lot of Boston players down there pressuring, thankfully for that. Murphy pins it to the boards, tries to get away from Field, can't quite. Some help from the Wiki coming through. Turns it back into the Boston end, dueling 27s as she jostles with Tomaselli. Tomaselli able to get it around there to Bender, can't quite collect that pass. Good forechecking pressure here from the Buttes. Vint down there now as well for Buffalo. Taken away by Schroka. Turning it back to Vint. Vint trying to walk it out in front. Back to Lewicki. Shot off the shoulder of Lang. It might have gone off the post as well. Came from a low angle, able to get a lot under that. Back the other way is Field. Drags inside. Save made at the other end by Levier. Both teams getting their best chances of the night there in quick succession. Vint fouls it up and knocks it back into the Boston end, taken there by Fratkin across. Harrington collides with Elia. Elia able to sweep it up ahead there, and she gets back to her feet, forcing Harrington back behind her own goal. Knocked away from Parker, taken back by Elia to Kunachika. Kunachika has her stick lifted and taken back the other way. A good defensive play made there by Stearns. Able to drag it in down into the Buffalo end. Puck rolling on in behind the Buttes goal. Levine down there. Parker as well now with the puck behind the Buffalo goal, trying to fight through the check of Jordan Burns. Trying to get it back to Stearns, hit off the back of the cage, back to the point where Harrington shot fired off the tip of the catching glove of Levier and into the corner. Parker spinning away, taken away by Elia, kept in, knocked right back down, hit off a leg there. That pass from Levine back to the slot where Buffalo will now recollect ahead. Kunachika into the Boston end. Will dump it into the corner. Her and Skamura go chasing after it. Kunachika with it, tried to sweep that pass in front. Good job defensively getting back for Boston. Elia got a shot off. There's a collision in the crease. Referee has waved the play off, and we will have a whistle with 14:36 remaining here in our first period.
Yeah, I think a hard crash by Murphy caused them to call that play there. And when we're talking, you need to stay completely clear of the crease. So anyone in that crease would have negated a goal, which means that scrum down low, although distracting, I'm sure, for Lang, was not going to result in anything.
Lang's being tested early, too, and Boston struggled to get it out of their own defensive end a little bit here. And Buffalo's been able to get the puck down low, and Lang's been able to make the save. She's been down on her knees, making those saves. So far, she's bailing out that Boston defense.
Sticks that pass away there as well, allowing her defense to recollect back out here to neutral ice. Bowie tried to turn that pass ahead, had it swept away by Field. Comes back to Murphy across to Chesson. Chesson's pass is intercepted, taken back the other way now by Dempsey. Jillian Dempsey into the slot, able to drag it around to Kersey. Back to the point. Fratkin walking it into the low slot area. That one fired through traffic, is caught and held by Levier. She'll hold on for a whistle with even 6 minutes gone here in our opening period.
And Marissa mentioned Lang being very good down low, and it's interesting how big she gets when she's being small. You know, that good chance that Buffalo had early on. She was very tall in her net despite being on the knees, and thankfully caught that on the center of the shoulder. Wasn't able to roll back in.
Face off to Levier's right, won by the Pride, able to keep it in their offensive zone. Good job by the Buttes forwards, pinching down there. Kristen Lewicki with speed to burn up the near side wing. Leaves it for Vint. Her shot through is wide of the goal, kicks off the boards clean back down to the Buffalo end. The old self-clearance effort there as Vint and Lewicki work their way up the right side of the ice. Fought in by Schroka in behind the Boston goal line, turning with it there. Bender's pass ahead. Taken by Gedman, had it taken off her stick by Vint. Vint drags inside Rebecca. Vint trying to get to the front of the net, and just one too many Boston defenders for her to work her way through 1-on-4. Vint pitchforks it back into the corner as she goes off for the change at the end of a long shift. Off the skate of Kunachika back out here to neutral ice, where Casorso will recollect. Her pass deflected, hops over a couple sticks back to Paige Harrington. Harrington across to Bender, head up looking for that pass through center ice and finds Weber streaking through. Weber across, shot through, traffic comes through from Parker, is just wide, stick side on Levier. Back the other way, a one-on-one for Maddie Elia. Elia drags it to her, backhand shot is blocked away by Johnson. Weber and Skamura collide there. Comes back to the point, away from everyone, all the way back down to the last butte. Sarah Casorso off the stick of Kunachika. Slow roller there, handled by Brianna Lang. Leaves it behind her goal there for Harrington. Buffalo gets some fresh legs on the ice. Harrington's pass is intercepted by a Kersey. To Jones, tries to drag it in front. Batted that first one out of midair, but couldn't quite keep it on her stick as it knocks into the corner. Collides with Harrington and takes it back. Jess Jones in behind the Boston goal. Back to the point. Murphy. Back to Jones. Backhand pass down low to Bowie. Bowie around to Kersey, back in front for Jones. Trying to get the door. Backhand, she does. She scores! If at first you don't succeed, try again, and Jess Jones will not be denied. And with 8 minutes gone in the first period, the Buffalo Beauts have taken a 1-0 lead.
That had to be Jones' 5th shot on one shift. She wanted it, and that's her 3rd goal in 3 games. She's, if you might say, catching her full stride here in the NWHL after leading the CWHL and scoring last year. So, another great goal from Jones. She's all power and all skill, and that backhand was just something of beauty.
Bad turnover from the Pride there as well. I believe it was Harrington who turned it over around the dot. And in the sequence before that, Gedman had a turnover, and the Pride were lucky to get it out. It hit off of the skate and out of the zone, but that's back-to-back possessions for Buffalo, where Boston just turned it over in their own end.
Really making it hard on Brianna Lang with all these chances, and back quickly comes this same line for Buffalo. A Kersey looking in front for Bowie, and it was lost in her skates, and Boston able to collect back the other way. As Eric mentioned, Jess Jones is her 3rd goal in as many games, and she's really getting comfortable playing here and playing with her line mates. And you can just see it coming. She looked like she was not going to be denied that goal no matter what she had to do or how many chances at goal she had to take, and has given her team an early 1-0 lead here on this Saturday afternoon contest. Fracken for Boston juggles it, and it's taken by Lewicki. Lewicki, patience across, looking in front. That one knocks away side of the net. Couldn't get that pass around to Vint. Head up shot by Edney is blocked away by Schwartz. That one rolls through traffic, is patted away and covered by Lang, and there's the whistle.
It's another Boston turnover that led to Buffalo keeping the possession in their own attacking end. That's something the Pride really have to address.
Just shy of 9 minutes gone here in our opening period. Buffalo getting exactly the start they would have wanted coming out of the tunnel, getting that early 1-0 lead. They've been very good early in games, and the true test of the second half for Buffalo, Eric, will be keeping that effort through a full 60 minutes and finishing games strong. In behind the Boston goal. Fought down low, and the Pride able to knock it to the blue line and out there on that pass from Parker around. Knocked ahead by Tomaselli, barely into the Buffalo zone before the Beauts recollect and knock it all the way back down in behind the Boston goal. Harrington picks it back up. Pass across to Fratkin is intercepted. 3-on-2 for the Beauts. Skamura winds it, fires off the crossbar. And they are feeling it offensively, and they're just sitting on these stretch passes from the Boston defenders and just having a field day out there in neutral ice right now.
And that play was started by Sarah Edney, another transplant from the CWHL, and she also is starting to feel it with 2 points in the last 2 games.
Elia walks the line, pass across to Casorso, works it down to the slot, fires that shot through traffic. I don't know if Lang ever saw it, but she got it with her blocker.
Post for MVP here tonight.
Elia stumbling and falling into the corner as she has done a couple times already here this evening. Not afraid to throw her body at a play to make something happen. This puck comes around here near side. Boston able to recollect, working it up ahead now. Johnson takes center ice, turns and dumps it in, and she'll go off for a change. Levier leaves it back behind for Casorso, pressured and just able to get around the forecheck there coming through from Levine. A Kersey the other way. Leaves it for Jones, a quick shot through traffic, deflected from Bowie, rebound chance for Jones, and Lang got that one too.
What an incredible save on her back. Lang is hot tonight. It doesn't matter what the scoreboard says.
It's incredible this isn't a 2 or 3-0 game yet.
Bowie with it. Just over halfway through this first period, and Buffalo smelling blood in the water, looking for the second goal. Poked away by Lang, and she has done everything she can to keep her team in this game. Another great play down low to prevent a chance from Bowie. Bowie, though, has it back, taken away by Bender, trying to turn away. A great play there again by Jones, who feels like she'd have 4 or 5 already. You can tell by the determination and look on her face. She thought she had a second one, and Brianna Lang just took it away from her. Levine back the other way, takes the blue line and turns it in at the end of a long shift. Dempsey chasing after it. First one there for Boston, knocks it back behind the goal, but only blue jerseys there and picked up by Chesson. Chesson has it taken away by Field, leaves it for Schwartz. Schwartz turning with it. Boston looking to answer here, get something going offensively. Johnson shot through traffic, deflected, loose in the crease for a second. A good job there by Chesson tying up a stick, and Levier will pounce on and hold for a whistle. Look at the shots on goal over there to our left. Unofficially 11-4 for Buffalo, which really tells the story so far of the first 11-plus minutes of this game.
Yeah, if you're going to see Buffalo improve on anything straight out of the gate, it's got to be shots. You know, the other thing that, like you've mentioned earlier on, that they've been weak in is the third period. So obviously, it's not something they can fix today, but you definitely like to see them getting those shots early on.
Johnson at the point, walks the line, fires through traffic. Low shot just wide, blocker side of Levier, and Lewicki picks it back up. The stretch pass intended for a stroke is a little bit out ahead, and Johnson all the way back into her own end will pick it up. Off of Dempsey's leg, taken back here by Vint, working it inside. Vint can't quite work her way through the defense, loose on the slot. Still Stroka's shot through. Goes wide into the corner. Puck comes around here near side. Murphy able to keep it in, dumps it back down low, looking to get it to Lewicki. Now back to Murphy. Murphy pressured there, hounded up high by Field, is able to find it back out here to neutral ice. Taken back by Lewicki. Trying to go wide on Harrington. That long reach of Paige Harrington keeping her away from anywhere she wanted to go as she turns it back behind there to Vint. Vint to Skamura. Skamura trying to cut back inside. Skamura lost the handle on it. Taken back here by Boston. Gagliardi. Up ahead to Field. Into the Buffalo end, but picked calmly back up here by the Buffalo defense. Jackie Greco. Before Butte standing at the own blue line. None of them can figure out who to pass it to as it's taken finally back the other way now by Maddie Elia. Her back pass in front, knocked away by Bender. Gets it back. Elia cutting with it into the slot. Turns that pass back down low. Kunachika's pass in front looking for Skamura. Loose in the crease for a second. Still loose down there. Finally comes through to Lang, who's able to cover up and hold on for another faceoff.
And if you were entering this season, you might be surprised to know that Courtney Kunachika and Maddie Elia lead the Buttes with 6 points apiece. And this line has really come together. The rookies, Skamura and Elia, and centering with Courtney Kunachika, who's been, just a stabilizing force for the Buffalo Buttes no matter where they put her. So this, a great opportunity for this team to broaden their scoring.
Elia had a terrific college career at Boston University, too, and you could see there the way she plays. She's physical, but she also has a ton of speed. She's a great facilitator. Didn't get to see her when Buffalo was at Boston. She wasn't active in that game, but seeing her here now, you can see how the college game has really translated to playing at a professional level.
Both her and Skamura so strong and powerful on their sticks, and moving Kunachika over there to that wing, allowing her to be more of a facilitator, has really helped everyone's game here on this line for Buffalo. One of the few combinations you kind of rely on seeing game in and game out, provided everyone is active and not suspended. Back out to neutral ice here. Picked up and turned right back in by Elia, who will go off for a change. Lang leaves it in behind her own goal here for Fratkin. Kicked ahead, chasing after it. Jones can't quite get a handle on it. Kersey all the way back to leave it there for Casorso. Sarah Casorso through center ice, all the way into the Boston end. Having played a lot of forward here last season, not afraid to really lead the rush from that defense position. Puck pinballs back out to Burns here and neutral ice ahead to Jones. Try to cut around. It's taken away by Fratkin. Knocked away from Levine back into her own end. Fratkin and Bowie jostle with it. Bowie's pass in front, looking back there for a Kersey, and knocked away by Lang. All the way back down to the Buffalo end. Levier's glove is raised. Cheston the first one back, and we will have an icing call with just 1 second over. 14 minutes gone here in our first period. Boston settling down here a little bit defensively, but still haven't really been able to translate that yet into some offensive chances.
Still struggling a little bit. When Boston has their offensive game going, that's because they're creating transition. We've seen a couple of sequences in this game where one time Emily Field was down ice, another time it was Jillian Dempsey, and that was created by their blue liners. So when their defense is playing at its best, they can create offense.
Shot through traffic there by Sroka is blockered away by Lang right off the face-off. Pops into the air up over everyone all the way back down into the Buffalo end. In behind the Buffalo goal, looking to reset now are the Buttes. Chesson stretch pass ahead out of the reach of Lewicki, able to speed and pick it back up here. Into the corner, Lewicki turning, trying to get back to the point to Chesson, and does. Backhand pass down low. Knocked in behind the goal there by Sroka. Scooped ahead to the line, knocked ahead and taken back the other way by the Pride. Fired in behind the goal there by Gedman. Levier out of her net. Didn't quite get all of it. Picked up here on the far side there by Dempsey. Field there as well. Now picks it up for the Pride. Back pass in front, looking for Schwartz. Couldn't quite get it to her. And a diving play made there by Vint. Is able to clear the Buffalo zone. Schwartz turning with it. Cuts into the slot, leaves that pass for Dempsey. Low one, blockered away by Levier. Way out high on top of her crease, almost playing herself into a dangerous area. But puck comes loose behind the goal, and the Buttes pick it back up the other way. Skamura trying to cut inside, taken away by Bender. Dempsey with it, back down low to Bender. Boston trying to take their time here, clear their own end, gets it out of the blue line. That puck is the closest we've ever come to being hit in this position.
Souvenir for a fan.
Souvenir for a fan, literally in the row in front of us here
in
at Center
Boston,
Ice.
we have that netting, so that's never going to happen there.
Yeah, that's we're pretty dangerous here in Buffalo.
We like living on the edge. With
It's that adrenaline rush of almost getting killed. Elia back the other way for Buffalo. Tries to kick it inside, able to follow that one up as Skamura lifted up over the crossbar. Taken here by Tomaselli. Up ahead now, Janine Weber. Scoops it ahead short of the icing line and goes chasing after it. Edney, bank pass behind, trying to leave it for Greco. Does. Skamura turning with it, lost in her skates. The blue line kept in here by the Pride, but knocked down calmly by Sarah Edney. Stretch pass ahead to Greco. Jackie Greco had it knocked away by Kalia Johnson. Inside to Kunachika, backhand one on, juggled, but caught and held by Lang. A little bit of a backhand knuckle puck coming through there, but she's able to hold on with no rebound.
Yeah, just, smart plays from both players down there. Greco losing the puck but getting control and just putting it dead center where Kunachika was waiting for it. That was easily a scoring play. And another, just before that, the two-line pass to get it up to Greco was just, these Buttes are finally starting to come together as a team, I think, and garner that chemistry that we've been waiting for.
Boston wins the defensive zone draw, and they now try to take it the other way. Clubbed down to the line, though, here by Just Jones. Patience to Accursi. Back to Jones. Pass across like a backdoor play to Accursi. And pass just barely out of her reach as the two of them just missed that give-and-go goal.
It's 4 passes in 2 square feet. That was incredible.
Accursi to Chesson. Back ahead to Just Jones. Her pass knocked out of midair. Casorso knocks it back to Jones. Backhand scoop into the Boston. She's the only Buffalo player down there hounding a couple Boston defenders as the Pride recollect. Puck comes loose far side to Vint. Vint's backhand pass is intercepted here by Dempsey. Turning with it, her stretch pass just out of the reach of field all the way back down. That will go for an icing call as Casorso's the first player back. And we will have a face-off back down here in the Boston end with 3:12 remaining here in our first period. Buffalo holding on to that 1-0 lead.
You have to wonder if the break is coming into play a little bit here with those Boston players that maybe have gone home to spend the holidays with their family and haven't gotten as much time on the ice as we've seen the Buffalo Buttes out here a couple times in the last week trying to get together and get ready for this game.
The shorthanded roster has a lot to do with it, too. Jordan Smelker is one of their best players on the boards up in transition, and she's not in there, and that's affecting them big time.
Buffalo keeping the pressure on off that one offensive zone draw. Stroka down there with Vint. Vint tried to come loose with the puck, had it poked away there and taken back the other way now. One-on-one with Chesson. Here is Emily Field. Field cuts wide side shot, block it away into the corner. Second chance followed up there by Bender off the side of the cage. Knuckles back into the slot, kept in here. Walking the line with it is Levine. Into the corner. Gets it back from Stearns. Levine turning with it back into the line. Harrington. Pass across just a little bit out of the reach there of Gedman, but she's able to keep it and knock it into the corner. Stearns. Surrounded by blue jerseys there in the corner, trying to find a friendly stick, but the numbers game wins out as Buffalo takes it back. Here's Kristen Lewicki. Scoops that pass ahead to Stroka. Stroka turning with it. She's pinned to the boards now. Pace of the game has been slowed down here by both teams' defenses after Buffalo really came out running and gunning for the first 10 minutes. Stroka in the slot, fires that shot through low and wide, blocker side. Gedman gets the center ice, has it knocked off her stick. Knocked back ahead by Greco, looking to get it to Elia. Tries to work her way in, does around Paige Harrington. Elia in behind the Boston goal. It's now 1:40 remains here in this opening period. Leaves her pass, stretch across, looking for Greco, and just out of her reach. Harrington. Some tired Boston player is out there. They will get a change here as this puck is going to slow down and roll just shy of icing. Jackie Greco back. 80 seconds still to go in our first period.
That's a really interesting look from Boston defensively. They had 3 defenders on the ice, and Fratkin, Harrington, and Gedman.
Skimura now. Shot from a bad angle, caught and held there by Brianna Lang. You can see her kind of getting some confidence here as this first period goes on and things are settled in there a little bit. Really tested, especially early on, but has been able to keep Boston in this game through some points where their defense is really leaving her out to dry.
Yeah, the puck's gotten a little bit softer for her. She's not giving up those juggling rebounds that she was early on in the game, and I'm sure that's going to be something that gets a little bit better for her as it progresses in her first start.
Face-off won ahead by a Kersey, back pass in front looking for Bowie, out of her reach, and Boston takes it back the other way. Parker chips it around. Casorsa goes chasing after it. 1 minute remaining in the first period. Puck comes loose where it's taken here by Corinne Bowie. Pass far side. A Kersey with a little bit of room to work with. A Kersey cuts it back inside. Beckett pass in front. I think she was looking for Bowie and ended up hitting Jones' stick instead as it pinballs into the corner. Weber. Pass ahead there, first to Tomaselli, now back to Weber. Weber, strong on the play, works into the Buffalo end. Pass across to Parker, taken away by Levier, and batted ahead by Casorso to prevent the rebound. A great quick rush there from Boston.
Great pass from Weber to find Parker there.
Boston trying to finish this period here on a high note. They have 20 seconds still to work with. This is in behind the Buffalo goal. Casorso hounded and it's taken away by Schwartz. And a great job finishing that play, getting back there by Casorso. Lewicki will knock it back the other way. Knocks that pass in the air to Vint, who tried to drag it inside, and it's taken away by Bender. 5 seconds still to play. Puck's back out here to neutralize field. Will turn with it. Look up ahead into the Buffalo zone as the horn sounds to end our opening period.
I don't know what else to say, but welcome back to NWHL hockey. That was a really good period. Both teams had their weaknesses. Both teams had their strengths. We saw Boston's speed come into play here in the last minute and a half. That 90 seconds was a lot of rushes from this Buffalo team, and obviously the big story so far has been Lang in her first start, already with 13 of 14 saves. And, like we said just a minute ago, the puck's getting a little bit softer for her. She's feeling it on her pads and getting to trap it and freeze it a little bit quicker.
Yeah, Boston came out of the gate, looked like they were a little bit behind Buffalo. Buffalo was just sitting in their defensive zone or neutralized, waiting for all these Boston passes, turning them all into turnovers, getting some odd man rushes, and really testing Lang. But as the period went on, it looked like Boston got a little bit more comfortable. They were playing a little bit more within themselves and able to create some good chances, especially there late in the period. Really came just within inches of tying up this game after 20 minutes.
Marissa, is this kind of a characteristic start from this Boston team, or are you seeing something that you don't usually see night in and night out?
They probably do get off to slow starts often, and one problem with the team all year is they haven't had a real chance to have chemistry. Haley Skarupa comes in game one, hadn't practiced with the team ever. All of a sudden she's playing game one. Now she's gone. They've had some injuries where Mary Parker's been out of the lineup. Now tonight they're without Dana Trevino, Jordan Smelker, and Megan Mangine, who are three of their most important players, especially Mangine, who's been arguably their best skater all season long. Trevino is arguably their most explosive player, and like I mentioned, Smelker is so huge on transition, just carrying the puck across the blue line. So it's taken them all year to get used to the team that they have. They lost more players than just about anyone due to it being an Olympic year. So it's taken them a while, and they just haven't been able to find that consistency all year. They've gotten better as games have gone on. They've gotten better as the year has gone on, but it's once again a situation they have to handle not having as much chemistry as Buffalo does right now.
And you mentioned that Mangine plays forward and defense, and now we've seen Fratkin kind of step into that role in this game. It's not something she's not familiar with. She's a very offensively minded defenseman, but maybe the team needs to get control of the back end before they start shoving those offensive-minded defensemen forward. Fratkin, arguably one of the better defenders in the league, so she could definitely help out this team on the back end.
Yeah, they're without so many forwards in this game. They need all the help they can get, but definitely Fratkin's likely their best defensive player on this team, and she just joined them near the end of December, and she made some of the better defensive plays for the Pride in that period. She's a very good offensive player. She's a very skilled player as well, but she brings a physical player to the back, or a physical presence to the back end, and does a lot for this team. And they definitely need her a lot more defensively than they do offensively right now, because that's more of an area of weakness than offenses.
So Jeff, what would you like to see from Buffalo here in the second period?
They just got to get back to that mindset they played in the first 10 minutes. They were patient. They were doing a great job really forcing Boston's defense to make a play. And when Boston was feeling that pressure, like they were turning the puck over, part of it was the strength of the forwards. We talked about Elia and Skimmer, how strong they are in the puck, and part of it was just great anticipation from Casorso and Edney. We talked about the play that Edney made that led to the Jones goal. Just patience in neutralizing, using those turnovers, using their speed to create chances off those turnovers. Defensively, I thought they did really well. Other than that late chance that was created by Weber to Parker, I thought they did a great job really keeping Boston to the outside for the most part. But it's offensively just keep attacking. Don't be content. They've been content when they've had leads in games, and it's cost them points this season.
Yeah, dearly. And Marissa, what would you like to see from Boston in the second period?
They need to shore up that defense, and that's something I'd say probably after every first period that they've played this year. They leave that slot wide open. They allow a lot of pucks into paint. They force Lang to scramble a bit. Now, the positive side of that is she has her feet wet now. She's not going to face much more of an onslaught than she already has, so they can take a positive out of that. But they really need to shore up that defense, especially around Lang, who is inexperienced. And sure, she looked good in the first period, but she does not have NWHL experience yet, so they have to be a bit more careful. They have to stop turning the puck over, too. They had about 3 very bad turnovers right around the left face-off dot, and one of them led to the goal. The other, one of them led to another great opportunity, too, and Gedman turned it over. So really defensively, the offense will come. They have so many skilled players. They really need to clean things up on the back end.
So we'll be looking for both of those things coming into the second period.
Yeah, we're going to take a break here, guys, as the Zambonis are on the ice. We'll be back here with you with second period action. You're watching Boston and Buffalo. Saturday NWHL action here on Cross Ice Pass.
clock hits 1 minute between periods, and there are 2 players ready to come out on the ice. So it should be an exciting second period.
The others can follow. We'll let Levier come out and to dominate our crease for a few seconds. Here come the Buttes. We're through 20 minutes of play here at the Harbor Center here this Saturday afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. It is 1-0 Buffalo after 20 minutes of play on the strength of the 3rd goal in as many games by Jess Jones. Buffalo really came out of the gates swinging, able to get that 1 goal in, but then Brianna Lang makes a couple big saves. Boston's defense gets their feet under them, and very even ending of the first period where Boston's looking now to come out here and answer in period number 2.
Yeah, with apologies to Bill Kenny, I think that Lang has kept Boston's momentum kind of up a little bit, and it was that 1 glove save that kind of sparked that last rush that Boston had for the last 90 seconds of the period.
So we will reset here as both teams have made it back to their benches in time in spite of the late start. Boston in their visiting black uniforms, white numbers and letters, gold trim and paw prints on the shoulders will be skating from left to right. Buffalo in their home powder blues, black frames, white letters and numbers will be skating from right to left. No other changes to report as far as lineups go. Lang in the net down to our left, Levier to our right. And we are underway in period number 2. Face-off poked ahead by a Kersey chasing after it, but beat there by Boston's Paige Harrington. Turns with it back behind the Pride goal. Harrington. Her pass intercepted, taken away by Bowie. Bowie wants it, fires a howitzer up high. Caught and held, an early test of Lang, and she holds on for a face-off.
Another Boston turnover as well.
Yeah, and a signature shot by Bowie. She had that top corner and just a couple inches higher, and it was in the net. But a good save by Lang. Good heads-up play, and she had to be sharp after that turnover from Harrington.
Looked like Bowie thought she had her leaning on that open pass across to a Kersey and tried to fire a quick shot on goal, but Lang was up to the test. Just 15 seconds into the period as Buffalo wins an offensive zone draw now, trying to keep that early pressure on. Schwarz away to Dempsey. Back to the point, knocked down off that shot by Chesson by Dempsey, back into the corner. Fields pass ahead, comes out of the zone, forcing Bowie back. It's off a linesman and back in to the Boston net. Johnson around to Schwarz. Scoops it up in the air, floats down where it's knocked here by Burns. Burns' stretch pass trying to get it through to Lewicki, taken away by Gagliardi, but Lewicki wins it back. Lewicki, her backhand pass into the slot, looking there for Schroka out of her reach. Field. Back the other way, winds and fires that shot through just wide. Comes around here to Vint. Knocked ahead away from Lewicki. Turning with it back out the other way. No one can find the clean handle on it until it's finally taken here by Schroka. Schroka's backhand pass in front, knocked away by Lang. Tomaselli. Turning with it at center ice, surrounded by blue jerseys. Taken and fired right back in there by Vint. Bank pass back out ahead. Boston trying to find the handle on it. Weber chasing after it. Kunachik able to play it back behind her goal to Greco. Greco has it taken away. Boston able to try to hold that line there. Fratkin can't quite find the handle. And once again, we switch ends. Stretch pass. Down taken here by Kunachika in behind the Boston goal. Kunachika's pass off the back of the net, taken away by Fratkin. Up ahead to Stearns. Stearns' far side pass to Parker. Parker's shot through low and patted away by Levier. Parker able to flip it and cut inside. Tried to get it back in the slot. Low chance taken away there. Levine, a big save made there by Levier. Making something out of nothing down low there, this line for Boston with not a lot of room to work with. Skimmer's shot through is blocked into the corner by Johnson. Stearns turning back with it. Pass ahead. Levine only as far as the Buffalo blue line. Knocked back out here to center ice, picked up by Gedman. Her stretch pass turned in by Stearns, who will go off for the end of a good long shift. Her line really creating some chances. They're one of the better Boston shifts here as they try to regain some momentum here early second period. Kersey back behind the goal. Now up ahead to Jess Jones, the lone goal scorer here in this game to this point. Jones floats that pass in front, trying to spring it for Bowie. A little bit too close, though, to Lang, who punches it away. Schwarz ahead to Dempsey. Dempsey cuts outside. Turning with it back to the point to Field. Field to the slot. Her pass across, looking back to her play to Bender. Hit off Murphy's leg and just sat there for a second before being swept away.
You see Lexi Bender playing down low there. Sometimes if Pride like to move her there. She's such a great offensive presence. She can play from the blue line and down low underneath the dots.
Field back to the point. Gagliardi walks the line. Her shot through traffic, caught off a player in the slot and sat there before being blocked away by Murphy. A much better start here to period number 2 than the first period so far for the Pride. Bowie tried to work her way into some room and couldn't quite. It's taken away by the Boston captain, Jillian Dempsey. Dempsey the other way, had to leave that pass for Parker just a little bit behind her, forcing her to turn back here. Collides with a teammate as Buffalo picks it back the other way. Lost in the skates of Jones, and Weber able to recollect back to Fratkin. Fratkin's stretch pass. Blocked down by Burns. A good job, though, by Parker, winning it back to Weber. Tomaselli able to hold that line, play onside. Far side pass to Parker, who turns it back in behind the Buffalo goal. Weber turning with it, trying to get it back to Tomaselli in the slot, but just out of her reach. Taken here by Schroka for Buffalo, back the other way. Schroka shot through, blocked into the corner by Fratkin. Casorso jumping down there to the far side. Half-wall back pass in front by Schroka. The Casorso is turned away by Lang. A great bang-bang play there on the far side post by Buffalo, but Lang again standing tall. Elia gets knocked to the ice with some assistance. Fratkin will soccer it back to her other skate as the referee's arm is raised, and for the first time tonight, we have a penalty coming.
Yeah, hopefully Buffalo can continue some of the luck that they've had in the past couple of games. Their special teams have kind of been their defining force of their success over the last 2 seasons, and have fallen off a bit here, but they've got the power to be really dangerous on this power play, and they can use that goal right now to kind of swing things back in their direction.
So Buffalo's first power play of the night comes with 15:29 remaining in our second period. Gagliardi off the glass, follows it up here, gets it up ahead to Dempsey, and a quick clear there for the Boston penalty killers. Levia will come out of her crease to play and leave it there for Edney. Edney being hounded there by Field, able to get it up ahead here to Jess Jones. Jones scoops it in, a wide angle, cuts back behind the Boston goal, creates some room back to Edney at the point. Edney around near side in the slot is Bowie. Plays catch. Edney walks the line. Winds it. Fire shot through right pad. Save made by Lang. Jones. Far side. That's Maddie Elia out there on this unit here today. Elia's pass across to Bowie. Bad angle shot turned away by Lang. Gagliardi surrounded. Bad angle shot for Skimura. Leaves it back for Bowie. Bowie into the slot. Elia picks it back up. Just one defender out there for Buffalo. 4 forwards here tonight here on this first unit. Jones back to Edney, shot high up over the crossbar. Sits there for Bowie. Bowie back to Elia. Back to Edney. Edney shot through traffic, blocked away by Gagliardi, who picks it back up, and with room to work with will calmly take her time and scoop it back down the ice with just 43 seconds and counting remaining here on the Buffalo power play. Edney lost it in her skates, ends up kicking back there to Vint as Buffalo's second power play unit will come out here. Vint up ahead to Accursi. Taylor Accursi, full head of steam, works it in, tried to leave that pass back in the slot, intercepted by Stearns. Parker couldn't quite get there. A great play by the veteran Lisa Chesson. Vint back to Chesson. Lewicki back to Chesson. Her shot through is blocked away by Stearns, and able to knock it off Lewicki's stick as well. And now just 7 seconds remaining here on this Buffalo power play. All the way back behind their net. It doesn't look like they'll get anything going before Fratkin is back out of the box. And they won't. Boston has killed it off there at a big time in this game. Buffalo now 0 for 1 on the power play here tonight. Pass across, looking for Kunachika, just out of her reach. Swept back on by Accursi, and able to pounce and hold on to that low roller there is Lang, allowing her team to get a change here. 13-17 remaining here in our second period.
That high-powered first unit definitely had their chances. Lang key in keeping Boston in this game again. I really can't overstate how well she's played in her first start so far.
19-9 shots on goal advantage for Buffalo to this point in the game, and Lang has turned away 18 of those 19. Burns shot through traffic, kicked off Bender's leg in front into the corner. Skimura turning with it down low. Schroka tried to get it around, in Boston's defense that has had some struggles here of late. They've really had a good couple of minutes here, keeping everything away from the front of the goal. I shouldn't have said that. That's a bad jinx. I'm sorry. Puck is covered at least partially by Lang as the net comes off its moorings for a whistle with an even 13 minutes remaining here in our second period.
Lang's been on her toes there. You can see on that play where she was alert and immediately able to cover that puck up. She's had to play that puck a lot in her crease, and she's just been on high alert. Hasn't fallen asleep at all. She's seen a lot of clean shots. That's the one thing about the shots that Dubuques are getting is they're not really getting tipped. They're clean looks, and Lang's been able to see them all.
Knocked ahead by Tomaselli to Weber. Quick 2-on-1 for Boston at the here. Janine Weber turned away by Levier. Rebound chance. She scores. As quickly as they come back the other way, caught Buffalo's defense on their heels. And what a response after that. Penalty taken by Boston. It's Janine Weber who has tied this game at 1.
That's the kind of thing that you want to see from Weber. She hasn't really been consistent with that so far this season, but that's the kind of chaos that she can create. And, you know, she takes a shot, gets her own rebound, and puts it down, or puts it behind Levier. We were just talking about how Lang has been sharp, and it's kind of been tough for Levier to stay in the game, I think. There really hasn't been much action, especially in the first 7 minutes of this period. So, you know, hopefully that was a wake-up call, and she'll get back into the swing of things.
You hit the nail on the head about Weber, too. If the Pride want to win hockey games, they need Weber to be their big scorer. She was their biggest free agent signing from the offensive end. They lost so much firepower, and they really need Weber to be one of those main replacements to score goals, and she has struggled at times this year.
Just shy of the midway mark here in our second period. We are back where we started at even footing. Taylor Accursi here for Buffalo, tries to work it back down to the Boston end. She'll pull up and leave that pass back there for Greco. It kicks off a leg and taken back here, followed back down by Levine. Lewicki tries to drag it away, had it taken back there by Gedman. Fratkin takes it back into the Buffalo end. Fratkin works her way to the slot. Her shot blocked away by Edney, but able to chip it back into the slot. Field works that inside and is turned away by Levier. Can feel some more confidence here on this Boston offense here in the second period. They think they got something going down there in the slot. Gagliardi trying to turn away from Greco. Leads it back for Schwartz. Back behind the Buffalo goal. Short side, tried to jam that in and had it knocked off her stick there by Edney. Johnson down low to Field. Field fires that pass back to the point. Gagliardi shot through traffic off the boards in behind the goal. And I'm not sure Levier really saw it. She looked behind her there as soon as that shot came through. Johnson around to Schwartz, out of her reach. Pinching down to keep it in is Gagliardi. Fires it back here near side. Johnson at the point. Back to Gagliardi. Winds in fire. Shot through, blockered away by Levier. Big collision there in the corner. Dempsey goes flying in, able to keep the pressure on. Johnson's shot is blocked by Schroka. Edney's been everywhere down there, but her team can't get it out of the zone. Johnson, shot through from Bender, just up over the crossbar. Schwartz tried to turn it back to Johnson, finally picked up by Schroka, and Buffalo at the end of all of that is finally able to clear. And I think that's got to be the best sustained offensive zone pressure here tonight for Boston, coming on the heels of their first goal. Skamura walks inside, she scores! Just like that. Give her a little bit of room to work with, and Haley Skamura in a big goal to give her team back the lead. It's 2-1.
Well, as they say in the business, that was a goal scorer's goal. Takes that puck straight through two defensemen and just buries it where I don't even think that Lang even wanted to try at it. You know, it looked like it might have been floating up over the crossbar. Lang barely flinched and caught it underneath, and it's 2-1 Buffalo.
She kind of came out of nowhere on that play, and all of a sudden weaved through two defenders. And by the time I think Lang even knew what was happening, the shot was in the net.
Boston had just spent about 2 consecutive minutes, if not even more than that, in the Buffalo defensive zone. And the Bees were finally able to clear it. Skamura walks off the bench, picks up the puck, and just like that finds herself with her first goal of 2018. At a big moment here for Buffalo, as we now have reached midway point here in the second period, and Buffalo has regained a 2-1 lead. Levier plays it back behind. Pinched down though, nice play there by Tomaselli into the corner. A lot of sticks and bodies there in the corner fighting for that puck. Comes loose to Chesson. The pinball back in there by Weber. We see a new combination here so far in the second period that's really working for Boston. It's Parker out there with Weber and Tomaselli. The line that was out there for that first Boston goal. Elia turns and scoops it back into the Boston end. She'll go off for a change, and Johnson goes back to pick it up here for the Pride. Levine, one-touch pass to Stearns. Stearns cutting with it, back behind the Buffalo goal. Works it in front, pad save made by Levier. Sat there for a second before Casorso could find it. Burns back to Casorso. Bank pass up ahead, taken here by Accursi. Leaves it for Jones. A little bit of miscommunication maybe there from those two as Boston's able to pick that pass right back off. Here's Paige Harrington in behind her own net. Harrington. Up ahead, knocked back ahead now by Burns. Jones leaves it. Vint can't quite find the handle on it. Bad angle shot by Vint is patted away by Lang. Fired back in behind the goal. Taken here by Levine. Fights it up ahead. Jostles there with Burns. Bender there as well. Lewicki now as well. And Burns able to emerge with the puck. Casorso. Pass out of the reach of Schroka. Knocked ahead by Gagliardi at least for a second. Pinned to the wall in front of the Boston bench. Comes loose and is taken back here now the other way by Field. Fires a howitzer. And a low pad save made there by Levier. Field pass back to the point. Gagliardi shot through. High blocker save made there by Levier. This is the combination that had Buffalo pinned back here. It's a couple shifts ago. Turned over, taken back by Field across to Dempsey. And she just missed. Had some room there, glove side on Levier. Another turnover by the Buffalo defense. Schwarz's pass is knocked back to the point. Gagliardi through traffic, blocked away. Hops over Dempsey's stick. Kept in by Schwarz. Loose in Lewicki's skates, and she didn't know where it was. Schwarz tries to sweep it around, but taken there by Burns, who fires it back out here to neutral ice. Gagliardi. Off a skate, all the way back down behind Levier. Icing waved off as Casorso goes back to pick it up. Sweeps it around to Burns, just out of her reach. Picked up here by Tomaselli. Gets it back. Tomaselli looking to create some room. Back to the point. Fratkin, her shot through. Goes wide. Goes that backdoor rebound chance off the boards. Hopped over Parker's stick. Burns loses her footing. Puck pinned to the boards. That far side corner to a side. They jostle for it. Burns emerges with the puck. Off the boards, away from everyone. Hit off the glove, they're saying, of Harrington. All the way back down the ice. Icing waved off, and Buffalo will get a change. Kunachika off the bench, had it taken away. Back the other way, here comes Weber. 3-on-2 for Boston. Weber couldn't quite corral that puck there, and it's knocked back out here to neutral ice. Harrington's pass ahead. Comes right back to her own blue line. Intercepted one more time by Kunachika. Courtney Kunachika leaves it there. Elia Skamura shot blockered away by Lang into the netting behind the Boston goal for a faceoff.
So if we could rewind just a little bit here to that Skamura goal. That play really was started by Courtney Kunachika, who was 1-on-5 in the Boston zone waiting for her team to make a very important change. And when that puck finally did come loose, that was when Skamura was able to get control. So even though she didn't get credit for an assist, she definitely had a lot to do with that second Buffalo goal.
Face off to the right of the Boston goal. Tied up and one ahead here by the Buttes. Stearns knocks into the air only as far as the blue line. Edney able to keep it in. Accursi tip play back behind the Boston goal. Johnson taken away one more time here by Accursi. Edney. Shot deflected away. Back to Accursi in the slot. Leaves that back pass there to Bowie. Back to Edney. Greco. Gets it back and fires through traffic. That one blocked away by Stearns. That one could not have felt good. Right up over there, just right above her left knee.
The second rough block from Stearns now. She blocked him on the penalty kill as well.
Greco in behind the Buffalo goal. Almost turned it over to Field. Up there forechecking all by herself. Almost had a golden chance in front of goal. Pass was just a little out of her reach. Boston now. Fratkin out of her own end. Pass ahead is able to find Field. Had it taken away by Murphy. Scoops it back ahead now the other way, coming with it. Lisa Chesson leading the rush, trying to go wide around Fratkin. Was rubbed out of the play, and Boston able to recollect down at least for a second behind their own goal line. Good defensive play made there by Bender, able to win it back out here in center ice. Chesson turns it in and taken right back by Fratkin. Near side here to Bender. Boston looking to get set up here just now. Under 5 minutes remaining here in our second period. 2-1. Buffalo holds a 1-goal lead. Dempsey chips it back in. Levier will slow it down and leave it there for Chesson. Chesson near side to Murphy. Murphy bank pass ahead looking for Schroka. And Schroka's able to knock it back out here. Parker turning with it. Johnson chips in and goes chasing after. That one hit off the linesman here near side. Murphy turning with it, looking for a friendly stick. It's gloved down by Johnson, and Boston able to keep it in. Johnson out through traffic, deflected in front by Weber. Comes loose in the slot, and Levy able to find the handle on him. A nice little tip play there from Janine Weber, the Boston goal scorer already tonight, looking for her second, and a big pen save made there by Levier.
And that's something that Buffalo can definitely get caught doing. Nobody was really paying attention to the fact that Weber was there, and Levier had to be sharp to catch that tip on the edge of her pad, but Buffalo really has to be focused much more on what's happening with the play and not necessarily just the puck.
Casorso backhand to the line, knocked down by Harrington, kept in, but pinballs loose here to Skamura. Who will knock it ahead and chase after it. Picks it back up. Haley Skamura thought about the shot, takes that low angle shot wide. Glove side is snagged and held by Lang for a face-off.
Lang's made some really nice saves in this game. Before that one, she made a blocker save where what I was talking about earlier, you could see her alertness on the ice, able to go post to post so quickly, keep her eye on the puck, and make those saves right there. Another example of that, just kept her eye on the puck the entire time and moved with it. That's where you see good goaltending, when they move with the puck.
Face-off one ahead here by the Buttes, able to keep it in with some offensive pressure. 4 minutes remaining here in our second period. Casorso works it along the boards far side, backhand pass down low. Maddie Elia looking back in front for Kunachika and just missed. Back the other way, Boston. Lexi Bender, full head of steam. Bender's pass across, looking for Dempsey, floated a little bit. Boston able though to keep it in. Gagliardi backhands it into the corner. Field turning with it. Field switches spots there with Gagliardi. Gagliardi to the half wall. Pass up high to Fratkin. Bank pass back down low to Field. Field looking to swap for Schwartz. It blocked off her stick back to Casorso. Able to pick it back up. Fratkin. Gagliardi knocks it back into the corner, back behind the Buffalo goal. Field chasing after it. Leaves it for Dempsey. Back to Gagliardi. Turning with it, back down low to Schwartz. Stick goes absolutely flying out of Casorso's hands from some jostling in front of the Buffalo goal. To the point, Schwartz able to keep it in, fire to pass across to Fratkin, but Fratkin had already started to leave out of the zone, sensing that play was coming back the other way. Buffalo, as a result, able to pick it back the other way. Casorso stretch pass up ahead here to Jess Jones. Jones one-on-one, a great job getting back there by Paige Harrington. Unfortunately, she took it a little bit farther than she had to stop the play and has earned the referee's ire as a result.
I think someone needs to tell Paige that the playoff games are occurring tomorrow. She's not actually on the Patriots. That was a nice open field tackle, though.
She got a little bit scared seeing how much room Jess Jones had. I think she did a great job getting back and then just went a little bit farther than she had to. I think she had that play completely wiped out when she got back there and just went right through the back of Jones.
Harrington's a physical player. She has a tendency to do that from time to time. If you guys remember the...
Yeah, she's definitely
we've seen that once or twice.
you guys know Paige Harrington as well as anyone.
So Buffalo's second power play of the night will come here. Just under 3 minutes remaining here in our second period. They are 0 for 1. Jones back up high to Edney. Elia now to Jones. They switch spots. Maddie Elia down low. Backs in front from Bowie, looking for a Skamura. Hops over her stick. Edney fires that one through. That one tipped and wide. Elia bangs it back down low. Corin Bowie. Back to Elia and Edney. As they work this around, switching spot. That one through traffic. Looking for a tip play, I think, from Skamura, but a missed Skamura's stick ends up floating right into the catching glove of Lang, who holds on for a whistle.
Yeah, the coaches definitely had to have seen something in that first power play, because this first unit is definitely looking for that tip play. 4 or 5 times they've tried it. A couple times it was actually successful. Lang was, of course, sharp, as she's been all afternoon.
And when Lang's been able to see the puck, as she has for a lot of these shots here on these power plays, she has been excellent this afternoon. They're trying to create a little bit of traffic, a little bit of chaos in front of her, see if they can get a tip goal, get a rebound goal, something like that. She has not really given up a lot of rebounds for Buffalo forwards to look for here today. Second unit down for the Buttes now. Lewicki across to Chesson. Back up high, Kunachika. That one deflected just out of the reach of Accursi. Tried to turn it back in front, had it taken away by Johnson, and taken off her stick there by Vint. Vint pressured, and a great job back the other way. 2-on-1 short-handed here for Boston. Dempsey holds it up with the full net pass in front of Parker, turned away by Levier. I did not have any idea how Dempsey found any room to make that pass. There was absolutely nowhere to put that puck.
Yeah, that was well played by Chesson.
Parker a little too in tight towards the net to really get a clean shot as well. Not a lot of room to shoot.
A Kersey back the other way for Buffalo. Tries to work it into the slot. That one's just going to roll on to Lang, who will pounce on it there for a whistle.
Taylor's gifted, but 1-on-3, maybe not going to win that pull-through battle.
1:10 still remaining here in our second period. Buffalo has 29 seconds of power play time remaining on their second of the night. Shots have evened up a little bit, not entirely. 25-19 now for Buffalo. Boston's come through a little bit here in the second period, evening that out a little bit. Edney fires that one. That one deflected, and that one off of Boston's stick caught Lang leading the other way, but thankfully for them, one wide of goal. Elia back to Jones, fires that one, blocked away by Gagliardi. In front looking for Bowie. They have the goaltender scrambling, but not able to connect. There were Elia and Bowie. Gagliardi to the point, kept in by Jones. Harrington is standing at the box and will rejoin play. Bowie across. Hopped away, and I don't think the Boston player realized it was an icing. I don't think Levier realized that would have been an icing because she was out to play that puck before it came to the icing line. Gagliardi up ahead, taken here by Schroka. 22 seconds remaining. Schroka shot through, turned away by Leg. Rebound from Bowie, off the post. Had her beat on the far side, and that one rang out about as clear as you can ring one. Weber the other way for Boston. They have one more chance here. Weber sweeps that pass in front, but no one there for Boston. Leaks through the stick of Frack into neutral ice. Schwarz will turn. Up ahead, Tomaselli. If she hurries, gets it through here to Weber. Low shot is turned away by Levier. Wouldn't have counted anyway, as we have reached the end of our second period. That's a good last 30 seconds. Gets the blood flowing a little bit. Chances at both ends. And this Boston team that looked like they were really struggling to find some offense in the first 25-30 minutes of this game have really come back here to make this a competitive game. Both teams getting one here in the second period. Buffalo with a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, Marissa, so there are a couple things that you mentioned that you'd like to see Boston do better in the second period. How do you think they did on those? Can you evaluate those?
Getting there, a lot better defensively. At the start of the period, there was one pretty bad turnover, which was concerning, but since then, they really did a better job getting the puck out of the zone, getting it in transition. The one goal they allowed, you almost can't even blame anyone for that. That was just an absolute snipe coming off the bench. So I don't think any goalie in the world is going to stop that, and it's tough. She's coming right off the bench. She gets around two defenders who I'm not even sure knew that she was there at that point. So overall, a better period for Boston. Good to see Janine Weber getting involved in the play, even more than just her goal. She had a couple of other chances. You see her more involved. Good chemistry with Mary Parker, who has missed some time this year as well. I've said a lot this year in Boston that Parker has made a tremendous step from last season, and every game she's getting stronger. So that line chemistry is good to see for a team that, mentioned earlier, hasn't really had that chemistry this year.
Yeah, we've given a lot of credit to Lang, but her friend the post has been key so far in keeping the puck out of the net. I think the post has 5 of Lang's saves. So, Buffalo is definitely putting the pressure on. And even though Jeff had mentioned that shots have been evened up, Buffalo is definitely shooting at a higher rate than they're used to. And a lot of those are coming from the defense coming up and joining the play, something they haven't really done necessarily that well this year. Yeah, Buffalo's been using every player on the ice, and you see it very much so on the rush especially. Everyone on the ice has been a weapon for Buffalo offensively, and they have a lot of defenders, especially with Greco and Casorso back there, who played a lot of forward last season. Defenders who are very comfortable playing both positions, and they're comfortable leading the rush and joining the rush. The real test for Buffalo will be, can they bring that back in the third period? This has been 2 great periods of scoring chances for them, but so far this season it's only been the first and second period where they're really able to come out. Third period they've been coming out flat more often than not. If they're able to keep that pressure up here, I think they're going to have a good result here today, but they're going to have to come back out and do what they did, especially in the first half here of that second period. Yeah, new year, new mindset, hopefully. These third periods obviously have been the bane of Buffalo's existence, but no time like the present to turn things around, and they're really going to need to. This is kind of familiar to the last game they played, where 2-1 into the third and they got the empty net goal for assurance, but I'd like to see them put this away before it comes down to that. Yeah, and I know that Amanda Levier would love another early period goal here to get that 2-goal lead too, because Boston's been feeling a little more confident. They're going to go back to their locker room now, and they're probably going to be like, okay, we finally got some things that are working here. What can we do to build off of those? And especially with the combination we mentioned, Parker being out there now with Dempsey and Field, that line for Boston has been creating a bunch of chances here for them, and they've really used that to get that confidence going to their other lines now too. It's a great game to kick off the 2018 season. It's been a lot of fun having Marissa on. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
And we'll be talking to her again throughout the game. So, yeah, but chuck a puck on the ice here. We got Zambotis coming out. We'll get
Take a quick break. I can't even get through the word break. That's how you know I need a break. Take a breather here, guys. Be back here with you with third period action. You're watching NWHL action on Cross Ice Bats. Olivier really likes being the first person by a long shot back into the tunnel. With a minute left now before the third period starts. Oh, their teammates go. We're good now. We are just under a minute away from third period action here this afternoon. Jeff Boyd, Eric Walschlager, and Marissa and Jemmy, who traveled all the way from Boston to be here with us. Exciting to have this crossover episode of NWHL action here with you on a Saturday.
You know, Marissa, a lot of times when people travel in the winter, they seek warmer climes.
It's about the same.
Yeah.
It's about the same in New England.
This was
It's a
negative.
little windier here.
Yeah, it's like negative 18-degree wind chills yesterday when I had to brush off my car to go to work. Not ideal.
It's hard down here by the KeyBank Center and the Harbor Center. They formed this nice little wind tunnel too. So if you have to walk in between the two, it's treacherous.
Used to that, all of Boston University is a wind tunnel where
there you go.
you'd walk down the street, you'd have to hold your hat until you walk into a building, then you can put it on.
Architect's final.
They want to be remembered by that.
Yeah.
You thought you were free. Oh no, I have structured these buildings intentionally to make you colder. We are just about ready to get going here. Third period action, Buffalo. In their home powder blue uniforms, right numbers, black trim, skating from left to right. Boston in their visiting black uniforms, white numbers and letters, gold trim, skating from right to left. It is 2-1 Buffalo through 40 minutes, and we are underway here in our third period. Murphy up ahead to Bowie, floats that one into the air, knocked in behind the Boston goal. Kersey knocks it down, fires that shot low through the slot and wide all the way back down here into the Buffalo end. Murphy chasing after it, hearing some Boston players chasing after her as she goes in behind the Buffalo goal. Swept around here to Bowie, out of her reach, taken away by Dempsey, knocks it just out of the reach of field, and Buffalo picks it back up. As they do for a second, Boston able to hold it in. Gagliardi chips and chases after it. Had it taken off her stick now by Murphy. Her pass ahead is intercepted by Tomaselli. Gagliardi. Back pass taken away by Murphy. Having a good solid game on the back end here for Buffalo. Jess Jones low shot through, knocked away by Lang. Jones with it again. Tried to leave it back behind for Lewicki, but it's knocked away from her by Johnson. Far side. Swept and kept in for a second by Bowie. Surrounded by Boston defenders, who win it back out to neutral ice. Burns. Up ahead to Schroka. Back pass in behind the Boston goal. Knocked ahead by Schwartz. Trying to get it up ahead there to Weber. Buffalo pinning it in at least for a second. Johnson, though, able to pick it back up ahead here now to Schwartz. Back all the way with it into the Buffalo end. Weber. The lone Boston goal scorer to this point, had taken away there by Casorso. Now to Schroka. Kaylin Schroka turning with her shot. Leaks to the crease and wide. Vint. Had it knocked and taken away back the other way now by Fratkin. Chips it around Greco and goes chasing after it. Greco back pass in behind the goal, taken here by Edney. Had to Skamura. Skamura. Back the other way with a little bit of room. Skamura works the one across looking for Kunachika, and that pass slid just out of her reach. Poked ahead, chased after here by Gedman. Levier way out of her crease to play it off the glass and prevent a quick 1-on-0 there by Gedman. Boston able to keep this in here, trying to get some sustained zone time out of that play there. To a side, they fight in the corner. Back to the point, that one hops over Harrington's stick, back down to the Boston end. It will roll short of icing as Kunachika gets down there. Skamura turning with it, trying to get away from Stearns and can't as they collide and go down in behind the Boston goal. Skamura comes free with it, tried to jam it near side and couldn't quite beat Lang. Chesson pivots with it in the slot. Chesson shot deflected loose in front of the goal. Turned away by Lang. A shot coming through from Taylor Acursi. Chesson back to Acursi. Leaves it back down there for Jones. Jones back up high to Chesson. Her shot through traffic deflected off a couple legs. Loose in the slot. And Jones couldn't find the handle on it as it slowly creeps to the point, but Buffalo able to keep it in. Bowie's shot floats and is blocked wide. Now behind the goal. Jones with it one more time, trying to fight it through Harrington. A good play there by the Boston defender. Back to the point, kept in one more time by Murphy. Finally, the Pride looked like they were going to have it for a second. Bowie back to Accursi, who can't find the handle in the slot to pull the trigger. Back to the point to Murphy. Fires that one through, blocked away by Gedman. Chesson keeps it in. Long time that Boston's been pinned back in their own end. In the slot, turning with it. Bowie shot, thought about it. Leaves it back. One more time to Murphy. Murphy up high. Accursi shot through traffic, goes wide. Bowie backhand pass into the slot. There's nobody there. Puck is kept in one more time by Jones. Boston cannot get out here. They have some exhausted players back there. Jones shot through, deflected, and that one did catch up off the netting in behind of Lang, and much to the delight of the tired Boston skaters, they will get off for a whistle here with 15:40 to go in our third frame.
Yeah,
it was over 2 minutes.
It was a bad play by Harrington at the blue line over 2 minutes ago that led to that possession, and Buffalo executed 3 line changes during that time. So that was definitely exhausting for this short-benched Boston team. That could be a tale that happens that changes the game later on.
Gagliardi able to win it up ahead in Boston. Finally now officially out of their own end for about 3 seconds. Elia across to Vintlow, shot through, is wide of goal. Lang was there regardless in case she had to be. Field. Pass ahead. Knocked by Bender. Sweeping through. Parker is offsides.
The Pride have had a couple of issues being offsides this season. A lot of it was when Skarupa was in the lineup just because of her speed. This game, I believe that's only their first offsides of the game, but throughout this year, I mentioned it a lot on the Boston broadcast, they're offsides 4 or 5 times a game.
We'll have a face-off here as a result right in front of the Buffalo bench. 15-15 and counting in our third period. Buffalo holding on to that 1-goal lead. Schroka. Low shot through the crease and wide. Greco. Fires that one in behind the goal. The only player there is Tomaselli for Boston. Tried to make that stretch pass through to Weber, but it was deflected and now intercepted by Schroka. Tried to feed it back in front to Elia. No such luck. Harrington. Scoops it and takes it back into the Buffalo end. Paige Harrington with it across to Weber. She scores! And again, it's the quick rush back the other way for Boston. Buffalo's defense did not cover. And again, it's Janine Weber. It's her second of the night, and we are tied at 2.
I think Janine Weber's arrived in Boston.
Safe to say. And it's just an incredible play by Harrington, who was caught out on that on the ice for that entire 2.5 minutes. Took one shift off, got back out, and jumped up into play fast enough to get behind the Buffalo defense. A beautiful pass to Weber. Put it where Levier really couldn't get across in time.
Yeah, we talked about the pass that Harrington made in her own end about 3 or 4 minutes of action ago now that led to Boston being pinned back there for a couple of minutes, and now it is a great play by Paige Harrington and a perfect pass to Weber, and not a lot that Levier could have done to get across there for that. And we are tied at 2. Coach Rick Sealing is not happy about something at the bench.
I believe he thinks that somebody was offsides. The line judge is pointing at the blue line for some reason. No video replay here in the NWHL, so it's not like he can challenge that goal.
It's for the better. Parker. Her pass in front, backdoor play. And I don't know if Levier got a piece of it, as Dempsey almost had a gift on the back door. Accursi fires it off the glass. It's kept in. And you can see, as they did the first time they scored, Boston feeling good coming off that goal. Field shot up over the crossbar. Dempsey. Parker. Taken away by Kunachika. Murphy. Through neutral ice. Accursi. Works it inside. Accursi to Kunachika. Kunachika back looking for Accursi. And a great job by Gagliardi tying up Accursi's stick so she couldn't tap that one home.
That was great from Gagliardi, able to lift her stick there. Otherwise, that was a wide open net to the right of Brianna Lang.
Boston has iced the puck following that up, so we'll come back down here to the Boston end with 13:46 remaining in this now tie game.
This is an important face-off here. Boston carrying some of the momentum, and Buffalo really has been uber successful tonight, especially against Dempsey, who isn't necessarily a poor face-off taker, but Buffalo's been doing a very good job of getting that puck forward and winning, and of course, Buffalo loses that face-off as I'm saying how good of a job they're doing.
Elia shot through traffic high off the glass in behind of Brianna Lang. Buffalo able to keep the pressure on, though. Here's Casorso walking the line. That shot through deflected, comes loose into the near side corner. where the Pride look to recollect. There's Elia, though, a new combination out there right now for Buffalo. Bowie trying to feed it back in front. A great diving play there. It's Gagliardi again defensively for Boston, able to make that play. With delayed penalty coming here to Boston, Levier just got back to the bench in time to be told that the whistle has blown, and Buffalo will go to the power play one more time. It's their third of the afternoon. They are coming in 0 for 2.
I don't know if anybody's mentioned it recently, but face-off has been really important in this game so far. And we got another one here as Buffalo heads to the power play there. Number 1 unit has really dominated play and unfortunately hasn't necessarily been able to capitalize, but no time like the present, and getting that 3-2 lead here in the third period, kind of giving them that boost that they really haven't had in third so far this season.
It is Levine who will sit for 2 or less. It is what has been used tonight as the second unit out here to start for Buffalo. Lewicki playing as one of those point positions here from her forward position here on the second unit today. Lewicki shot blocked away by Stearns. Kunachika back to Lewicki. Up top there with Chesson. Chesson back to Lewicki. Shot through traffic, blocked away by Gagliardi. Floated in the crease, swept away by Lang. Stearns can't find the handle. Taken back here by Kunachika Tuba. Kersey shot turned away by Lang, who dives and punches it away.
Dangerous rebound.
Yeah, she was way back in the crease. I think she wants to be up higher for that next save.
Vint. Near side half wall, back up high here to Kunachika. Now to Lewicki. Chesson far side. Back to Lewicki. Kunachika. Cross ice pass to Chesson. Couldn't quite have the handle on it. Looked like she wanted to shoot it if she could have. They switch spots. Chesson back to Lewicki. Up high. A Kersey. Back to Lewicki. That one through, blocked away in front. A diving play, a couple of diving plays, a big collision in front of the goal. There's bodies everywhere in front of Lang. Kunachika goes down as well. Boston still pinned in, at least for a second. Vint turning with it, trying to get it back to Lewicki, and does. Back to Kunachika, back to Vint. Up high, Chesson works it down and fires through. That one blocked away by Stearns. A Kersey shot through was caught, covered, and held by Lang with even 30 seconds remaining here on the power play.
As strong as this Buffalo power play has been, they really haven't gotten quality shots on net. Made Lang give up bad rebounds. There was the one shot from a Kersey in the slot that Lang was setting back firing her net, but nobody there to clean it up, so really ineffective as it stands.
Buffalo gets that top unit out here for the final 30 seconds of this power play. Here's Maddie Elia. Back to Jones. Edney. Waiting. Switches spots, her shot blocked. Off high off the glass in behind Brianna Lang. Back to Edney. 10 seconds of power play time remain. Skamura. Down low. Elia. Waiting. Time running out. Time has run out. Levine is back into the play. We're back to 5 aside. Buffalo now 0 for 3 on the power play here this afternoon. Jones able to walk the line and backhand that pass in. Played with a high stick by Skamura. And Elia is the first player to touch it. And we will have a face-off coming up as a result. So 10:57 remaining here in the third period. A Boston team that's really gotten better and better as the game goes on. You think that gives them an advantage in the final 10 minutes? So someone's going to score sooner or later to win this game.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, you know, a tie would give... If Boston were to win in overtime, they'd be tied for second, but then would have 2 wins over the Buttes and head into second anyway. So Buffalo really needs to get this business taken care of in regulation. And they don't seem to be playing with that kind of urgency.
Field tied up a little bit with Burns as it comes back out here to neutralize for Gagliardi. Dempsey waiting for her teammates to get back on side. Back up high, Gagliardi. Back to Dempsey, tips it into the Buffalo zone. Casorso turning with it. Stretch pass knocked ahead by Gagliardi one more time. We're seeing from Gagliardi and a couple of the Boston defenders kind of what the Buffalo defense was doing to Boston in the first period. It's kind of sitting back on the stretch passes and punching them all the way back in, pinning those Buffalo forwards back. Vint. Big collision. The zone is knocked down by Lewicki. Kristen Lewicki to the Dragon inside. A great defensive play getting back by Johnson. Vint shot through up over the crossbar. And to get back and win, or even come close to winning a foot race with Kristen Lewicki is an accomplishment for a defender, and a great play there by Kalia Johnson. That one kicked off Vince skate back into the Buffalo end. Casorso in front of her goal. Stretch pass ahead, looking through for Bowie. Misses her all the way down. They're going to say Bender was the first player there. And we have an icing against Buffalo with 9:55 remaining here in our third period.
Even though Boston has a goal in this period, they haven't had a lot of ice time in their own attacking zone. So face-off now for the Pride, they have to hope set up a more settled offensive possession. They really haven't had many of those today.
Face-off here to Levier's right, won by the Pride. Fratkin fires it in behind the Buffalo goal. Tomaselli turning with it. Bang pass back to the point to Fratkin, across to Bender. Trying to work our way around. It's cut off there by Schroka, but able to knock it ahead to Schwartz. Taken back by Schroka. Scoops it up ahead, only as far as center ice. Bender spinning with it back in front of her own bench. Pass comes in here near side, trying to spring Weber through. Weber able to knock it into the corner, but not able to get around Jordan Burns. Hops over Fratkin, stick back out to neutral ice, and now Burns tried to fire that pass ahead to Jones, ended up catching Corin Bowie, who indirectly skated directly in front of that pass. Fratkin, stretch pass out of the reach of Schwartz, taken back one more time by Burns, across to Casorso. Sarah Casorso. Sorry, it's Murphy now, off the bench. Scoops it into the Boston end, goes chasing after it, collides hard with Harrington, and Boston takes it back. Hops away from Gedman. Stearns turning with it. Jones forced back. Delayed offsides as Kunichika goes back and touches up. Harrington in behind the Boston goal with it. Pass knocked down by Skamura. Second effort, though, able to win it back out of the Pride. Murphy, her pass knocked down. Back to Chesson in front of the Buffalo goal. Chesson stretch pass ahead. Skamura to Elia. Kunichika kicks it to her stick, looking back in front for Elia, and that one slides harmlessly through the crease. Elia looking back for Skamura, just out of her reach, picked up by Stearns. Fires off the glass, that one hops over the glove of Jackie Greco, and back out here into the Buffalo end. One more time, this line will try forward. Maddie Elia backhands it in and goes chasing after her. Line mates go off for a change, or at least Kunichika does. As Harrington picks it back up, knocked ahead by Vind, who collides hard with Harrington as the puck just slowly rolls into the glove of Lang for a faceoff.
Harrington seems to find a way to be involved in those plays rather often.
There's been a couple collisions involving her in the game. We were used to those in the couple of years that she had here in Buffalo. There's some players like it's her, it's Maddie Elia, players like that just somehow always seem to, one way or the other, be involved in the physical portion of the game. Nice defensive zone faceoff win there for the Pride. Dempsey. Far side, taken up ahead here, Parker. There's that pass in front, deflected in front by Gagliardi, just wide. Lewicki, one touch pass to Schroka. Picks it up out of here, lots of open ice in front of Rebecca Vint. Vint shot through, deflected off the side of the cage. Schroka trying to turn it back in front to Lewicki, save made by Lang. Not a lot of room to work with for Lewicki, but you got a lot under that one. And back the other way for Boston, it's Field. Leaves it for Parker. Parker, bank pass in behind the Buffalo goal. That one on the side of the cage. Levier is having none of that and will cover up for a face-off.
That play over in front of Brianna Lang, really dangerous. And you could see Bender gave a lot of space to Rebecca Vint as she was coming in. Bender trying to play for the other side as well. And that kind of led to being wide open right at the doorstep. And Gagliardi a bit slow getting in there, but she was a little too tight in on the net.
Boston won the draw and cleared it right back out of the reach of Harrington all the way back down into their own end. Harrington forced back by Jones. And Jones able to take it away from her. Jones fighting through contact from Fratkin, tried to leave it there for Bowie, but it's taken right back by the Pride. Schwartz. Knocked away by Burns. Here comes Bowie. Bowie shot through, knocked away by Lang. Great chance for Kersey is turned away as well. And the second chance there knocked away for Jones. A Kersey shot! I think that one got the post too. Lang at a full sprawl, might have got her toe on it. Quick fire shot there from Taylor Kersey. Casorso shot through, low shot. That one kind of bounced on Lang and she's able to stick out the right leg and kick that one away. As comfortable as she has looked for this game, had her scrambling a little bit for those 30 seconds. Skamura back the other way. That one floats into the corner. Back behind now the Boston goal. Fratkin chasing after it. Stearns is there as well. Collides. Buffalo takes it back, working inside. Elia tried to throw that backhand pass to Kunachika, but out of her reach. Murphy at the point through traffic, deflected pass save made again by Lang. Here comes Gedman with some room to work with. There is nothing but blue jerseys. She tries to backhand that one into the corner, and it's taken away by Murphy. Chesson up ahead to Kunachika. Courtney Kunachika works it wide, cuts in front, backhand chance for Kunachika. Not able to find anywhere to work with there. Lang was with her the whole way. Elia pivoting with it. Leaves it for Murphy, and both of them thought the other one was taking it. A turnover taken here by Lexi Bender. Looking for some room to work with. Bender crosses center ice. We have 5 minutes remaining in regulation. And that one floats up into the air, rolls harmlessly into the glove of Levier, who will let discretion be the better part of valor, as we have some words being exchanged on the far side with the face-off coming up.
Yeah, the importance of these 2 points maybe being played out a little bit in front of the crease there. Both teams kind of trying to get on the other team's skin a little bit, gain some advantage here in the last 4 minutes and 57 seconds. A power play would do nicely for either one of these sides, who, Boston has struggled to maintain possession. Buffalo really dominating in that aspect, which is new for them, but they haven't been able to take advantage as often as they'd like to see.
Face-off won here by the Pride in their offensive zone. Field trying to work it back through to Dempsey, but it's taken away by Buffalo, and now Rebecca Vint looks for something to do with it. Hits Edney, streaking through center ice. Edney fires onto the crest of the jersey of Lang, who will hold on for her 34th save already of the afternoon.
If Boston wants to not even just win this game before it's overtime and get a point, they need to start limiting some of these chances on Lang. She stepped up big time, but they're allowing a lot of space for these shots. At some point, they're going to hit off of something and bounce in, or there's going to be an open look if they don't really tighten up this defense.
Face off to Lang's right here in the Boston end. 4:44 on the clock as Lewicki wins it back for Buffalo. Edney ahead. That one hops over Stroka's stick. Fratkin there for Boston. Weber there as well. Knocked ahead. Tomaselli jumps down to keep it in. Up ahead, and now Janine Weber, who has both Boston goals. Cutting, trying to go wide on Edney, and Edney took it right away. Followed up though nicely by Schwartz. At the point, Gagliardi joins the play and keeps it in for a second, able to win it around Schroka with very little room to work with. Gagliardi still with it. Shot saved by Levier. Caught her up high. Weber back to Johnson. Down low. Gagliardi tried to feed it across to Tomaselli, and she was tangled up in front. Johnson through traffic. Pat save, rebound, chance in front. And Levier got that one too, sprawling out with her right leg. And an A-plus chance there on the back door for Schwartz and Tomaselli. Lewicki able to carry it out of her zone all the way down to the Boston end. Lewicki still with it. Scoops it into the corner. Schroka trying to cut in front. Couldn't find any room to work with. Casorso down there. Pivoting with it up by her own blue line. Casorso winds in, fires out the traffic. Pad save made by Lang. Second chance side of the page there for a Kersey, and couldn't quite get it on.
It's great awareness by Lang to have that pad on that post.
That one through traffic goes wide. 3:15 and counting here in the third period. Both teams have had their chances trying to break this 2-2 deadlock. Casorso back in front. Jones can't quite get that pass across. It's taken away by Tomaselli, who will scoot it off the boards and back out here in front of the Boston bench. Jones trying to find something to do with it. Taken out of the play there by Gagliardi. Turned right back, though, to Jess Jones. Jones tries to feather that pass across, looking for a Kersey. That one deflected, though, and out of her reach. Bowie. No such luck in behind the play. Here comes Dempsey for Boston. Up ahead to Parker. Pass just a little bit behind its intended target and taken away by Jones. Field was forced to stop and turn back into the play, and Jones followed that up well as she goes off for a change at the end of a long shift. Parker with it in her own end. Under 2.5 minutes to go here in the third. Chesson stumbles, and Stearns picks it up here for the Pride. Stearns, a diving effort there by a Buffalo defender on the far side. And finally leaks through back out to neutral ice. Chesson back across to Murphy. Murphy back to Chesson. Bank pass ahead, deflected by Kunachika. Elia chasing after it. Maddie Elia pivoting with it. up behind the Boston goal. Murphy at the point. Shot through traffic, deflected, pad save made again by Lang. These are kicking out to the slot, but Boston's defense doing a much better job of keeping those away on those rebounds. Shot fired through by Weber with some meaning behind it, just wide. Elia back the other way. Cuts through, one-on-one. Maddie Elia, and a great defensive play made there by Harrington, at least, well, maybe not.
Yeah, Harrington's going to get a call for that. Maybe body checking, maybe interference, but not a bad defensive play. You know, Elia had her beat. She got the puck dragged between her legs, and there's really nothing else for Harrington to do there. She turns around, that's a goal. So, you know, she did the best she could. So far, Boston has stymied Buffalo on the power play, so it really isn't a bad bet to take in that instance.
This is a dangerous position for Boston. They've allowed late goals in games a couple of times this year. One game in late November in Connecticut, they had a 2-goal lead with just under 3 minutes to go and allowed 2 straight goals from the Whale and ended up losing in the shootout. So the Pride have been in this position and they've given it up before. So now being a player down, this is a very dangerous position, especially for a Buffalo team that's already put a ton of shots on.
Yeah, not just a player down, but maybe the best defender on the ice right now.
So Buffalo to the power play for the 4th time tonight. They are 0 for 3. Pass in front by Skamura off the side of the cage. Gagliardi chasing after it. Elia beats her there. Bender trying to get around Skamura and can't. And now Buffalo will try to sit up here with just 67 seconds remaining in regulation. Tie game. That one fired through, and that one had a metallic sound to it. Buffalo, their top unit out there, trying to break this 2-2 tie. Jones over to Edney, to Bowie, gets a lot behind that one. That one fired wide out of the reach of Jones and back to neutral ice. Boston will get a chance to reset, get some fresh legs out here as Edney is back to her own end. Deflected around here. Jones in this top unit, at least part of it stays out here for Buffalo. 30 seconds remaining in regulation. Jones behind the goal. Elia turning with it. Back up high. Jones fires through, deflected and turned away by Lang. 17 seconds. Buffalo running out of time here. Jones. Edney shot through, deflected and blocked in front. Gagliardi caught that one up high and able to knock it back to the point. Edney will have one more chance through traffic. That one deflected into the corner. Bowie turning with it. 2 seconds. Deflected in front, blocked by Gagliardi. And we aren't done yet. 60 minutes have come and gone. We've solved nothing. It's 2-2, and we will go to overtime. With Buffalo a little bit of carryover power play time. Boston struggling early on, able to come back and get this game even, and had a couple chances there even to take a 3-2 lead. Not much between these two teams through 40 minutes ultimately.
Yeah, I mean, in a game that Buffalo has pretty much dominated, Boston's taking advantage of their chances a little bit better, which is unfortunate. You know, you don't want to give up a point here when you're playing against a team that is 1 point behind you. So this is a must-win, really, at the halfway point of the season to kind of put some distance between, or keep some distance between themselves and Buffalo. The opportunity to do it by 3 points is gone now, so they have to make sure they take advantage of this next 30 seconds.
Yeah, we talk about home seeding being the top seeds in the playoffs, getting to do something Buffalo hasn't done in their previous 2 seasons, even last year on the route to the Isabel Cup, and that is be a higher seed in a playoff game.
Unfortunately, that's true, and you know, I think that's a goal of Coaches Sealing and Muni this year. You know, and it wasn't Buffalo's worst third period. It really was just that one mistake that led to the goal, and it's unfortunate that they played as well as they have and didn't get the reward at this point. Hopefully, they can cash it in.
Yeah, it seems like as good as their defense was in the first period, Boston saw something, and both the Boston goals were very similar in nature. Catching Buffalo's defense not reacting to a play, a quick 2-on-1, and both times it's Janine Weber, who had probably her best game as a member of Boston. Marissa, you can speak to that, is finally coming through offensively when they really needed her to.
Definitely Weber's best game as a member of the Boston Pride, and they've been waiting for it, and it's big for her to step up when they need her the most, because they are without so many of their, or at least 2 of their best offensive players, and you can argue Mangine as well, because she's been an offensive force as well, even when she's been playing on the blue line. So offensively, both of those goals for the Pride as well, that's how they operate. When they can get down in transition, use their defenders to make those stretch passes, get down ice, and have transition goals. They've struggled with their settled offense a little bit this year, but when they've had those transition goals, that's where they've had success. I think it's more indicative of that's just how the Pride score goals more than Dubuque's defense breaking down.
So we will head here to overtime. The goaltenders will switch ends. Harrington has 31 seconds remaining on her penalty for interference that she took late in the third period, really to prevent a good chance for Jess Jones, and so far looks to have been a good decision on her behalf to take the 2 minutes and let her penalty killers do what they have to. You know, they're going to make me look bad. I said the goalie's switching ends. They literally went to other ends, and now that I've said that, they are re-switching ends. That's about right.
And then they'll get settled in and then make them switch again.
I really hope so. Great.
We've talked about Lang a ton, but I just want to point out again, she's made 38 saves. That's ridiculous for her first NWHL start in Buffalo.
I go back to that one she made on Jones in the first period after the goal that kept it 1-0. And how different this game is if that's 2-0 at that point. She has done everything she's had to keep her team in. We are underway in overtime. A little bit of carryover power play time still here, about another 10 seconds for Buffalo. But 4-on-3. Jones back to Edney. Back to Jones. Jones gets it back to Edney. Edney's shot through. That one fired wide. Harrington is standing and will rejoin play. We're back down to 4 aside. Bad angle shot by Skamura, fought off by Lang. Gagliardi up ahead. Harrington knocked away by Edney. Edney carries it in. Tried to fire that one through, couldn't find the handle on it. That one deflected through and went just wide near side on Lang. One of those tough ones for a goaltender where you're leaning one way, hits off a defender, goes the other. Schroka turns back with it. Picks up this pass with a head of steam through neutral ice. Schroka, backhand, try to jam it in, off the side and scores! From nowhere to work with, a backhand chance for Kaylin Schroka. And after all of that, Buffalo able to hold on and come back here in overtime. It is 3-2 your final score as they pile on to Schroka in the corner by the Zamboni entrance. Buffalo starting 2018 with a huge overtime win here this afternoon against Boston.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I think she caught Lang leaning off the post a little bit and got it 5-hole. So maybe Lang was expecting to pass back to the front and not necessarily a bad angle shot from Schroka, but what looked like a harmless carry to the net ended up being the victorious goal. And I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe that's Schroka's first in her NWHL career. So good for her to get on the board tonight, and definitely important for Buffalo to get 2 points.
No better time to find one, and for Boston, that's a tough ending to a game, especially for Brianna Lang, who she played so well for 3+ periods to have one like that go in. But what a great NWHL debut for her, and maybe the goaltending situation in Boston, maybe they have a little bit more flexibility. They don't have to feel like they've had to play Brittany out every game now.
It's unfortunate it ended that way because Lang faced a lot more difficult shots in this game that she saved. But the biggest takeaway does have to be the way she played, making 39 saves in this game. Last season, Lauren Slobodnik was a backup for the Pride, and she was excellent. And anytime Brittany Ott had some struggles at times, they were able to bring Slobodnik in. Going into this year, nobody knew what they had. Lang struggled a bit in the preseason. They liked Maddie Litchfield, who's now their third string goalie, the rookie out of Vermont. They didn't really know what they had in Lang, and now they do. So now they know if Ott does struggle, if there is a game she might have to miss down the road, they know Lang can step in and be that goalie that they need to come up big. So it's a positive for the Pride, getting a point is a positive for them, but for the Buttes as well. That's just a big win to be able to sustain Boston coming back and tying this game up. To be able to come out with the 2 points in overtime is big for Buffalo.
So Boston is off next week. Where do they go from there after, how do they take advantage of this break and kind of recollect for the next game?
You just have to hope that practicing a lot, coming together, getting more chemistry on the ice, getting players back. And that's all you can hope for if you're the Pride this season, because being without so many players this year, it's really chemistry. That's one of the reasons the Pride were so successful. Hillary Knight and Brianna Decker have played together so many times. Megan Duggan, even Alex Carpenter. There's so many Boston College players on his team that have all played together. So it's really about chemistry, and the best way they can get that is to continue to practice.
And for Buffalo, it can't be overstated how big it is to get that extra point and keep yourself in second place. I know we've alluded to it earlier. It feels like all the other 3 teams are currently chasing the Riveters, but you've got to do everything you can to keep yourself within striking distance. And if you feel like the Riveters have really run away with first place, then make sure you establish yourself cleanly for second place and get yourself ready for a good second half run. Both their previous seasons, Buffalo has been a much better second half team once they've gotten a chance to practice together more, a chance to play together more. We've seen some line combinations finally settling in a little bit here these last couple games. This is a team that is geared for a second half run, and if they can keep playing like they played for that the majority of that game on offense especially, they threw everything they had at Brianna Lang.
Yeah, and we can't have stated so many times how amazing Lang played in her first NWHL start, but how it was so important for Buffalo to beat her that third time, get that third goal, and take this win. And next time we see these Buttes, it'll be in sunny Pittsburgh.
It's another lovely, warm northern city like all of them are. Next Saturday afternoon, we'll be traveling down. Justin, who could not be here with us today, will be joining me, and Erica Ayala from the Connecticut team will be joining us as well as we travel down to Pittsburgh next Sunday afternoon for the Buttes against the Connecticut Whale next Sunday at 2.
Twitter game of the week.
Twitter game of the week. Prepare yourselves. Anything else that I missed, guys? Marissa, thank you so much for coming and joining us.
Yeah, it was awesome having you on.
Thanks for letting me be a part of the broadcast team today.
Well, thanks, guys. For Marissa and Jemmy, Eric Walschlager, I am Jeff Boyd. Thank you guys for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day. Go Bills.